And we're back. Welcome to my preview and predictions for the League One playoff semi-final second legs. The second of my 3 EFL playoff semi-final videos this week. You still have time to check out my prediction ahead of tonight's second championship semi-final second leg. A link to that will be available at the top of your screen right now. But today, we're here to talk about these 2 fixtures in League One. 2 incredibly different first legs, shall we say. But let's just get straight into it without any further ado. The game taking place tomorrow is between Stockport County and Leyton Orient, and this game was full of controversy from start to finish. We spoke about controversy yesterday. There was arguably even more controversy in this game here. The big moment, of course, coming in the opening goal, where Kelman was a full 4 yards offside when the ball was flicked on, and somehow none of the officials were able to spot the flick on. What's even worse is that even if there wasn't a flick on, he was still offside from the original kick in the first place. It's an absolutely horrendous decision to put Leyton Orient 1-0 ahead. But from there, the controversy didn't stop, because then we had a handball incident to give Stockport the chance to equalise, with Ollie Norwood putting it away. To be fair, of all the decisions in that game, I think that one was probably the most accurate. You could see the guy's got his arms raised and tries to hit the ball away, so I have no complaints about that one. Following on from that, Norwood went from goal scorer to goal provider as his cross found Horsfall at the back post. However, Horsfall was then involved later on, giving away her penalty himself for another handball decision, which again I think is highly controversial, because the ball deflects off the Leyton Orient player and just rebounds up onto Horsfall's hand. Now, okay, you can argue that the hand is above the head, but I was under the impression that deflections mean that it's not going to be given as handball. So for me, that was very harsh. But that was already minutes after Kelman yet again was involved, as he was tripped on the edge of the penalty area with no foul given, and it was on the line, which means it should have been a penalty. But I guess in this instance, 2 wrongs do make a right, because a penalty for Leyton Orient was eventually given, which Kelman took and scored to make it 2-2, which incredibly was the prediction that I made for this fixture. So I did end up getting that one spot on. Coming into this one, though, it's just, who knows? Honestly, who knows? Both of these sides are on unbelievable unbeaten runs. They're playing some fantastic stuff. If you look at the stats, if you look at the highlights from the first leg, there was absolutely nothing to split between them. Yes, you would probably say that as the home side, that Stockport County would be the favourites coming into this second leg, given the fact that they've had a better season overall. But I just think both sides are playing such good football at the moment. Neither side have any fresh injury concerns coming into this off the back of the first leg. So I'm just going to go with what I went for at the weekend, and I'm going to go for another 2-2 draw, because I can honestly see this going all the way to penalties. I really do. Obviously, like I say, I think Stockport, if you're going to pick a side to win this, Stockport are the ones to go for. But I just think there is so little to split between these 2 sides right now that ultimately this one could go all the way. 2-2 once again. If the first game in League One was non-stop drama, the second game basically had no drama whatsoever. It was a rather dull 0-0 game. Pretty much 50-50% possession for each side. Only 5 shots on target in the entire match. 0.5 XG for each team. So really very little goal-mouth action. There was one moment of controversy when star striker for Wycombe, Kone, put in a pretty nasty tackle on Kane Ramsey. Was it intentional or was it just accidental? I'll let you guys make that decision down in the comments. But I know there are certainly Charlton fans that wanted him sent off for that. And I understand why they wanted him sent off for that. Obviously because he's Wycombe's best player, but also because it did look like a pretty dangerous challenge. Other than that, though, really not a lot to talk about from that first leg. Other than that, I think both sides are probably going to be pretty happy with it. Obviously, as we spoke about, Wycombe losing their 3 previous games to these other 3 teams in the playoffs in the lead up to that first leg. So being able to keep Charlton out and hold a 0-0 draw, I think is probably a good result for them after the weeks they've had. For Charlton, they'll be happy to take a goalless draw and obviously have the opportunity to now put this fixture to bed in their home stadium, where knowing that all they have to do is win the game on the night and they progress to Wembley. So I think both sides are going to be pretty happy coming into it. Yet again, no fresh injury concerns for either side off the back of the first leg. And to be honest, my thoughts are no real different to what they were from the first leg again. So it might sound like a little bit of a boring rinse and repeat. I went for 2-2 for the first leg of the first game and went for 2-2 in the second leg. For the first leg of this fixture, I went for 2-1 to Charlton. And for the second leg of this fixture, I'm going to go for 2-1 to Charlton because I still think they're the favourites. They're the side on much better form compared to Wycombe. I think on paper they're a better side as well. And it's just going to be a question of, can Wycombe keep them out again? They were able to keep them out at home. I think Charlton will have enough to get themselves a goal, which will then open the game up, and then that's where we could see more goals start to go in. But we'll see. If Wycombe can hold them out again, fair play to them. But I do think this is Charlton's game to lose, so I'm going for 2-1 to Charlton. As always, let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. Let me know anything you think I've missed regarding these two games. Don't forget to subscribe with notifications turned on so you don't miss out on tomorrow's video, which is going to be my thoughts on the League 2 playoff semi-final second legs. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you there.